How did it happen? Testifying before Oregon lawmakers at 5 o'clock, I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Jenny Hansen in for Liz tonight. The DMV and Secretary of State staff questioned in a hearing today at the state capitol as that fallout from a voter registration error continues. The DMV mistakenly registering more than 1,000 possible non-citizens. They were sent ballots in past elections.
And state officials say only 9 of them actually voted, according to them. Well, Lisa Balick, live in Salem tonight. She was at that hearing. Describe what happened, Lisa.
Well, it was not as heated as you might have expected, but we did learn a bit more as far as what happened and why and how they're going to try and keep it from happening again. Now, by the way, the state says they won't release the names of those 1,200 plus people who got those ballots accidentally, but the Secretary of State's office says the 9 who voted did not affect the outcome of any elections.
We understand the importance and regret the actions caused, but move quickly to correct the issue.
The head of the Department of Transportation, which runs DMV, apologizing to lawmakers, saying he knows they need to do better. The Secretary of State staff says they went back and checked the races that 9 out of the 1,259 people voted on, none were determined by just a few votes. Keep in mind, they can't trace an individual ballot since ballots are separated from signed returned envelopes. DMV bosses told lawmakers they've redesigned the computer programs to prevent registering non-citizens in the future. Now, when people get a license or ID card, staff will have to enter the state and county when recording a U.S. birth certificate. DMV will use separate screens for typing in citizen and non-citizen documents. As for those sent ballots who shouldn't have gotten them, they're now unregistered.
If the clerks are unable to verify eligibility of any of these 9 improperly registered people, our investigations team in the elections division will send those individuals a letter, give them the opportunity to demonstrate if they are in fact eligible. If they fail to do so, we will refer the cases to DOJ, as we do with any potential criminal violation of election law.
More accountability demanded, pointing out an out-of-state nonprofit uncovered this.
The media reported an audit occurred because of the questions raised by a third-party organization. Is it true that this wouldn't have been discovered if it wouldn't have been about the outside group's inquiry?
Clearly, we were notified by way of a general question.
Now, some lawmakers questioned and said they were not too happy, it seemed, about having the Secretary of State not there. I checked and found out she was actually up in Portland with elections there, going over security measures. Now, by the way, some of the Republican lawmakers intend to introduce legislation come January that would require the Secretary of State, once they get those motor voter registrations, to go through those and once again verify their accuracy. We'll be following this in the coming months. Live in Salem, Lisa Balick, KOIN 6 News.
All right, Lisa, thank you.